So anyway, I'm going to pick back up where I was. So anyway, it counters this kind of dreamy idea that we should do this de-extinct things, and by saying that it's going to divert from 20,000 species that are currently in grave danger of going extinct. And you notice how when I'm reading, I'm going back and forth through the text. I'm matching things up through the text. I'm having this conversation, and that's what I'm talking about when I said that. Anyway, according to the 2012 report, blah, 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 species today are vanishing in much greater numbers, many from hunting and habitat destruction, that the trend has been called a sixth mass extinction, an event on par with such die-offs as the one that befell dinosaurs 65 million years ago. So they're saying that this is as bad as when the dinosaurs went extinct. Wow. Okay. A program to restore extinct species poses a risk of selling the public on a false promise that technology alone can solve our ongoing environmental woes, an implicit assurance that if a species goes away, we can snap our fingers and bring it back. So the fear that they have is that not that it's necessarily a bad thing to have these, but we need to focus on things that are alive. Okay. Already, conservationists face difficult choices about which species and ecosystems to try and save, since they cannot hope to rescue them all. Okay, yeah, so that kind of supports that idea. Many countries where poaching and trade poaching and trade in threatened species are rampant either do not want to give up the revenue or lack the wherewithal to enforce their own regulations. So, against that backdrop, let me see if this continues the idea. Against that backdrop, a costly and flamboyant project to resuscitate extinct flora and fauna in the name of conservation looks irresponsible. Should we resurrect the mammoth only to let elephants go under? Of course not. There it is. So, and then that is not to say that the de-extinction enterprise lacks merit altogether. Aspects of it could conceivably help save endangered species. For example, extinct versions of genes could be reintroduced to species and subspecies that have lost a dangerous amount of genetic diversity, such as the black-footed ferret and northern white rhino. Such investigations, however, should be conducted under the mantle of preserving modern biodiversity rather than conjuring extinct species from the grave. Okay, so they're both really kind of on the up and up. One says that it's kind of the dream of traveling to space, and one is kind of we should take care of the problems here on Earth before we worry about going to space. At least that's the comparison that I would make in my head. Author passage 1 suggests the usefulness of de-extinction technology may be limited by, so it's going to be limited by, the amount of time researchers are able to devote. Did mention that it's going to take a long time, so relationship an extinct species to a contemporary. Didn't mention anything about extinct species coming back into this world. Complexity of the DNA, didn't seem to be an issue. Length of time that a species has been extinct. Yeah, the one that it mentioned was the dinosaurs. That would be the biggest issue, was the dinosaurs couldn't come back because they're too old. So I would go with D on 38. 39, which choice provides the best evidence to this? Okay, where did I read that about the dinosaurs? Only the species too old to be recovered, such as dinosaurs. So that was 9 through 11, I believe. And so that's the one I'm looking at. There's 13, something that will be difficult. It will be expensive and difficult. So it's this one that's the reason that I like 38. And so on 39, I'll go with B. 40, as used in line 27, deepest most nearly means. And here's a strategy to use on this. When you get to line 27, before you look at the choices, go back to 27. Passenger pigeons alive again invokes the awe and wonder that drives all conservation at its blank level, at its core level, at its most essential or something like that. So most engrossing, challenging, extensive, fundamentals, easily the best answer there. 41, authors of passage 2 indicate the matter of shrinking biodiversity should primarily be considered a historical anomaly. No, that would go against what they were saying. A global catastrophe, absolutely. Scientific curiosity, curiosity kind of undersells it. A political problem. Maybe it has political overture, but I don't think that it's necessarily a political problem. I think it's B as the strongest answer there. Which choice provides the best evidence for the previous question? Indicate the matter of shrinking